Hey everybody, this is TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends series, part of the X-Men Fox 20th Anniversary Collection, Deadpool and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. This is a 2-pack from the Deadpool movie. So far, every figure I've gotten from the Fox X-Men line, save for, the Hugh Jackman Wolverine from Amazon, the exclusive one, has been a Deadpool figure, because those are really the only ones I really wanted, since I never expected Hasbro to actually make these. But they've given us finally a Ryan Reynolds Deadpool and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which is pretty cool. I liked her a lot in the movies. Originally, I just wanted to pick up Deadpool just because I was mostly interested in him. But after seeing some reviews, I think Negasonic Teenage Warhead is also going to be a pretty cool figure. I'm going to stop wasting time and talk about the packaging because it's really well done with this 2-pack. You can see this nice X-Men backdrop where the figures are right there. On the top of the packaging, it says Marvel Legends Series. Top left has some warnings. Top right has the age recommendation, which is 14 and up. If we look towards the bottom, you can see the Deadpool sticker that's covering the X-Men logo, and Deadpool has crossed out all the real names of the characters and wrote in Deadpool and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. There's also the Hasbro logo towards the bottom right. When we look towards the Deadpool side of the packaging, you can see a really nice silhouette of Deadpool, and the eyes are piercing through, and I think that's really well done. When we look towards the other side, it's just a silhouette of Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which is also really cool. I really like the silhouettes that they do for the packaging. When we look towards the back of the packaging, you get both silhouettes of the characters. You don't get any read-ups, but I think you guys are pretty familiar with these characters. When we look towards the top of the packaging, it's just mostly red with the X-Men logo and the Marvel Legends series logo being covered by a Deadpool sticker. And at the very bottom, there's not much going on there, but I have the barcode in case you need it. Let's go ahead and get this box set opened. So here are both figures out of the packaging. This is a really nicely done set. I do have some problems, though, with the overall execution with some things, particularly Deadpool. They did some pretty strange decisions with this figure, but it's still a pretty solid set, and I'm happy to have it. We're going to look at Deadpool first, because I've been very excited to take a look at him. We're going to look at his accessories, and then Deadpool, and then we'll look at Negasonic Teenage Warhead's accessories, and then that figure. So as you can see, Deadpool comes with a lot of different accessories. We have some different weapons. We have the stuffed unicorn. We have some different hands. I already put the fists into the Deadpool figure, so I'm just going to move on into the open hands here. These are pretty nicely done. You can see some texturing on the inside of the palms right here. You may have noticed that some of these hands have some silver on the back of the hand. Some don't. The fists and these open hands don't. I don't understand why that is like that. But the back of the hands also have some pretty nice sculpting. All of these hands have the in and out hinge, whereas the trigger hands, which we'll see in a second, only have the up and down hinge. So just keeping that in mind. You see here we have the silver on the back of the hand, so I don't really understand that too much. There's not as much texturing on the inside of the hand, just because these are closed off, as what you'd get with the open hand, but it's still, I think, good enough. These are nicely done. These are all brand new sculpts too. This is the trigger set, the hand, set of trigger hands. Excuse me. There's a little bit of black paint right there on the silver, so that's a little annoying. But there's actually some pretty good detailing of the textures on the inside of the hands for these, so they did a pretty good job with that. I'm gonna talk about the weapons in a second, but this is just awesome. I really like this stuffed unicorn. They really did make it kind of look stuffed too. Like, it's got some wrinkles, there's some seam lines, there's a little bit of a gold horn right there with some nice blue eyes. This thing is just really nice. And then we have these guns. So these I think we've gotten before in the past with some Marvel characters. These are kind of like sci-fi looking guns, but I think we got this with the blue Deadpool recently. It's molded in black this time, so I don't really mind it too much, but I still wish that it was realistic weapons. One thing I'm going to go into a tangent about really quick is that these Desert Eagles are molded into, not really molded, but they're glued into they're glued in here, into this holster. I had to heat the crap out of this with some hot air and hot water, but that's what it looks like on the inside. There's just not enough space for some actual guns. Let me use these really quick. I have to try to do this. Yeah, so you try to fit that in there, and it really doesn't want to go in all the way. So that's a bit of a pushing it just a little bit forward. It will be a little bit better, but still, it's just I wish that they didn't do what they did. Just give us these Desert Eagles, and also these are just once you pull them out, you can actually use these as accessories, but they're way too soft, like extremely soft. With this one, I tried really carefully to take it out, but the trigger guard broke, so there goes that, sadly. But I think eventually I'll start maybe carving away at the plastic here and making this a little bit bigger, just to hopefully maybe fit some, actual pistols in the future. But I just don't understand why they did that. Just, actually make it the holsters working. Don't glue them in there. We also have these katanas. He comes with 2 of these, so I'm just going to talk about just one of them. They're a little flimsy. They're kind of small. I kind of wish that we honestly got the previous sculpt for the katanas that we usually get with Deadpool figures. But it's not too bad. A little bit of black paint going onto the silver there. Well, really the silver's being missed because this is molded in black. The texture on the handle looks fine though. Weapon storage is pretty simple. If I can actually do it on camera, it might be a little hard to do. There we go. You just insert it like so. I have the other one here. I'm gonna do this really quick. Zoom out. There you go. They fit in there nice enough. Last but not least, we have this knife right here. And it's pretty nicely done. I don't think we've gotten this sculpt before. I think the silver on the blade is actually really well done. And he does have a boot holster for the knife. Or a boot sheath. So that's pretty awesome. A pretty good amount of accessories. I just don't really like some of the decisions that they did with some of the stuff here. Just particularly what we got with the holsters. So here's a 360 of our Deadpool figure. I believe this figure was sculpted by Mayshelf on Instagram. Go check them out. They have done an incredible job this year with some of the Marvel Legends figures. They've done this Deadpool, they did Old Man Hawkeye, and they did the Walmart exclusive Cable. All really nicely sculpted figures. Those are some of my favorite figures of the year. This guy is just really nicely done. I really dig what we got going on with the texturing throughout the whole suit. They did a really good job. It's more prominent in the head. This just looks super accurate to the movie. Nice lines going on through here. See this little hood piece, not really a hood, but just this little piece that sticks out, as you can see. A little bit of gappage in the neck. That's not too bad though. It's not super noticeable. This little neck piece is also separate. They have some additional details going on in the neck. The eyes came out really nice. Now, part of me wishes that there's a little bit more expression in the eyes, but at the same time, I think a neutral expression is also fine. Since with other Deadpool figures we've gotten in the comics line for Marvel Legends, they have expression, so just a neutral Deadpool for me is fine. An additional head sculpt would have been nice, maybe with some expressions. Also, a Ryan Reynolds head would have been nice, but we don't get one. But that's okay. Maybe some rights issues. Buckles right here are pretty nicely painted. So they even have just a little bit of silver on the chest there. This head is really nicely done. There's some buckles down here. The Deadpool logo is a little sloppy. Not great. So the brown here for the pouches isn't the greatest. It's just kind of this basic brown sculpt. But the silver on the pouches is really nicely done. They don't put any more there, so that's a little annoying. Did they just run out of budget to put more paint apps or what? Like, I don't understand. This is all a separate piece. I don't believe there's a way to take this off. I could be wrong, but after looking at this figure for a little over 30 minutes, I have yet to find a place where there's tabs that can come off. This entire katana piece also is stuck on the back. It is glued on here. Or really, it could be sculpted on here too. But either way, it ain't coming off. It doesn't really get in the way of articulation though, so I think that's fine. We move down to the arms. They did a really good job with the sculpting. There's some more of that texture. The black is also sculpted, so it's not just painted over. Nice lines going on the shoulders. Just lots of great texturing going on. They even have the little, whatever the parts of the wrist are here, where the black is. Those are looking really good. Again, I think these fists are just a little... I don't know if I've said it yet. These fists are kind of small. They just look kind of tiny. Yeah, I don't think I said it yet. But they're not horrible. They don't take me out of, the enjoyment of the figure. It's just something to notice. The detailing on the hands, though, is pretty well done. It's a nice... I mean, these don't have any silver paint, so that's a little annoying, but the detailing is pretty good. They do have a little bit of texturing going on in the palm there. It's mostly in the fingers. Move towards the lower torso. You can see the pants. Some nice seam lines going on. I might have to zoom out just a little. The holsters, while I gave them crap earlier, they are nicely sculpted. So that's pretty cool. The back of the pants look like there. It's mostly just a little bit of glossy black, a little bit of matte black too. There's lots of texturing again going on the red. Some smoother details in the black up here. Lots of nice seam lines. It looks like there's some scratches. There's a scratch right there on his chest. That was movie accurate, so that's cool. You see the black on the knee pads. This is sculpted in here. No, this is movable, from my understanding. Yeah, some of it might be sculpted. Like these might be sculpted in here, but it's also still a or at least glued in here. And this is still like a soft plastic that moves around. So that's a little strange. I could be completely wrong. This is just not coming out. But there's no reason for me to take these out. These are definitely molded into the leg. However, these straps, they are softer plastic. It's kind of hard for me to move these around. But the straps, the details on there are pretty good. Move towards the boots. Lots of nice black lines. A little bit of red splotching, so that's a little ugly. But the boot sheath is pretty nice for the knife. Some scratches on the back of the leg, so that's cool. The sculpting's really clean. There's what the top of the feet look like. There's even some more scratching there. These, you know, this is the same color as the rest of this boot, this joint here. So it doesn't look horrible, but at the same time, looking at the joint, the smooth detail just is kind of not the greatest looking. I wish there was maybe some kind of detail that was covering it. It could have gotten in the way of articulation. So, there's that. Is there anything else I'm missing? There's only a little bit of texturing on the black of the boots. So, overall, very, very clean sculpting going on, even with some paint application issues. Again, Mayshelf did such a freaking awesome job. So for the articulation, it's some pretty basic articulation that we have, but we do have some additional stuff going on here. You pop this head off, which is going to take me a second, and it's a ball peg, and I don't know why. I mean, I can see why they're going to use a ball peg for some figures, but I'm a ball and hinge kind of guy. There's also some separate articulation in the neck. This is also removable. It's taking me a second to take it out. It's a little tricky. There we go. So I think it's going to look better with that in, though. That's just to give you an idea of the side to side. Up is not the greatest. Down is also not the greatest. It's not horrible, though. Side to side is pretty good. It has a nice tilt to it. I really meant back and forth. This is the rotation, and it's, you know, not hindered at all, so that's awesome. Butterfly joints here at the chest, so that's pretty good. They don't really like to move that much. The back is pretty good. The forward's kind of weak. Arms go all the way around. They go in and out. Upper arm swivel. We have double jointed elbows with pinless technology, so that's cool. Again, these hands, the wrists here, and the rest of the hands besides the gun holding hands go in and out, whereas the gun holding hands go up and down. Ab crunch. The back is kind of hindered because of the katana holsters. And then the forward's pretty good. Waist swivel. That sounded really loose just now. I think I might have just done something to the... I might have done something to it. That's a little worrisome because it doesn't want to sit there super normally. Legs go forward. The back is pretty good. In and out. Upper thigh swivel. We do have double jointed knees. I wish there was a boot rotation. It would have really helped this figure. But the up and down is actually really good. And there is some pretty good ankle rocker. So Negasonic Teenage Warhead doesn't come with nearly as many accessories as Deadpool, but some pretty good stuff. Some fire effects pieces for the hands. These are pretty nicely done. These just wrap around the hands, which I'll show off towards the end of the video. There's some nice yellow and orange detail through here. They're slightly translucent, so that's pretty cool. She comes with two different sets of hands, and I'm going to show off what she looks like with the fists during the detail portion, but these are the open palm hands, which are really nice. There's some detailing and some yellow paint on the back of the hands. As you can see there, a little bit of black bleeding through there, but that's all right. And then that's what the inside of the hands look like. So skin tone's painted on here because you can see there is a black splotch there. It's not the greatest, unfortunately, but still pretty cool hands though. I'm glad we get some alternate accessories when it comes to hands for this figure at least. So let's get a quick 360 look of Negasonic Teenage Warhead here. I think the stomach all the way down to the legs are reused, but the arms, hands, chest, belt, and head I believe is brand new. The head is definitely new. I've also never seen the chest before, which we'll take a look in a second. Does this figure look like the actress Brianna Hildebrand? Sort of. It's not a 100% likeness, but I think it's good enough. It's pretty close. So, yeah, I really like the head sculpt here. I don't know if this was sculpted by May Shelf either. I don't believe so. I could be wrong. There's some kind of weird... I don't know if that's a splotch or something on the cheek right there. That's a little weird. But the lip color, the eyes, the brow, it all came out rather nicely. There's actually a really clean sculpted earring there. This side here, the earring isn't the greatest. There's a little bit of silver also going onto the cheekbone there, so that's a little disappointing. The sculpt of that earring is also not the greatest. They try to do this nose ring here, and it just kind of looks like a booger. Like, it's not the worst, but it's just kind of strange. Something on the chin, too. That's weird. The hair, the sculpting the hair is really nice, though. I really dig it. I mean, it could use paint. I mean, it's just molded really in black. But, man, they did a really good job with the hair sculpt. I really dig it. Lots of nice wavy creases and all that. The chest has some really cool patterns as well. A little bit of the zipper right there. Yeah, the chest is pretty new, from my understanding. The texturing isn't the greatest. It's kind of hard to see, honestly. I don't even know if they continue it on the back here. You do get some texturing in the black around the arms and the shoulders. Is there a little bit of silver? I can't tell if that's silver. I think it's just a very faint silver there, but it's slightly metallic on the shoulder pads, as you can see. Some nice creases going on the arms. It's nice texture running down the forearm there. There's the other one right there. These fists also came out pretty clean. I dig that a lot. There's some skin tone going through that doesn't really look the greatest, but it's not horrible. That's what the back of the hands look like. There's some similar sculpting that the open palm hands get. Other than that, besides the belt, which has some pretty nice, I don't know what these are, these spikes sort of. Some nice silver on there, but it's mostly just molded in black. Other than all of that, the rest of the body is very plain. I think we've gotten this with other figures. I can't tell you what, though. But I've definitely seen this before. The yellow here, I just wish they at least added some texture, like on the chest here. It just kind of looks inconsistent. It's just, you know, this soft sculpt here with some yellow paint. Granted, it's pretty clean except for right here. But, I don't know. I just feel like they could have put forth a little bit more effort. This is a $50 set, so $25 each. Yeah, not the greatest. This is what the back looks like. It's just mostly a plain black. Very easily done. I'm not going to say it's lazy, but I just wish they put forth a little bit more effort. We definitely got these feet before. What they did do right, again, is the head sculpt and a lot of the new details. That's what the bottom of the feet look like. Just drop that figure all together. So, oh, I forgot to mention the collar is pretty cool. I think it's somewhat of a silver paint as well. I also like the X logo. It's sculpted. You know, it's just kind of a flat little sculpt right there, but they painted pretty nicely. Articulation's pretty basic for females, so not great. Sorry, my battery died. Head goes up, down, side to side, a little bit of neck tilt. Very basic articulation for, again, females, like I said. In and out to the shoulders. Oh gosh, what was just happening just there? That elbow's really stiff. We have a single jointed elbow that bends about 90 degrees, which also has a swivel at the elbow. We have a swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. This is for both sets of hands. We have a waist twist. It doesn't really want to go. Let's go back, but not forward at all. Side to side is sort of there, but not really. Legs forward that much. Not really back at all. In and out. Upper thigh swivel. We do get the double jointed knees, as you can see right there. We do get a calf swivel, so that's cool. Up, down, and ankle rocker at the foot. So for some size comparisons, we have the two figures here with the rest of the Deadpool 2 figures. On the left, we have the Walmart exclusive cable. On the right, we have the Domino figure. And then we have the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, the Amazon exclusive version on the left, with the Chris Evans Captain America on the right. And then we have the comics Colossus on the left, which I wish we got a Deadpool 2 version. Maybe we'll get one in the near future. And then on the right, we have the Old Man Hawkeye. And then I have the new comics Spider-Man from the Retro Wave on the left, with the Professor X, the comics version, on the right. And then last but not least, we have Stan Lee on the left and the 2018 comics Deadpool on the right. So to end this review, I'm going to show you what these figures look like with their accessories. We'll see some other accessories for Deadpool, and then we'll show these figures with some other Marvel Legends figures. Unfortunately, a lot of the 6-inch 1/12 scale weapons that I want to use for Deadpool don't really want to work, and the guns that I don't want to really use will work. So on one hand, that could be seen as me finally getting potential out of those guns, but on the other hand, I wanted to use the full extent of my arsenal that I've built up over the past couple of years. The Deadpool head that comes with the 2016 version, I believe that's the version, that unmasked head doesn't really want to sit on there too well. Eventually you're going to want to get probably a custom Ryan Reynolds Deadpool head. The waist for Deadpool was kind of weird. If you heard that break in the articulation section, it sometimes wants to snap to the side. It'll align in the center pretty well, but again, sometimes with barely any movement, it want to snap to the side. So I don't really know what's going on with the set. I don't know how I feel. I'm very conflicted. I really, really like the sculpting of the Deadpool figure, and the Negasonic Teenage Warhead has some pretty good sculpting on the upper torso, but the figures themselves are kind of disappointing in other areas. I don't know if I was just very excited for the set and I got my expectations too high, or whatever it is. I'm just kind of disappointed. It's not a horrible set. The figures are really good. I just wish that Hasbro didn't make certain decisions and cheaped out in certain areas when it comes to the paint for the Deadpool. And also Negasonic. They didn't really give her as many details as I thought they would. They gave her a lot of details in the upper torso, but not towards the lower torso. So a lot of weird decisions going on with this set, but I still think it's pretty good, especially if you're a completionist when it comes to the Fox X-Men stuff. If you don't care about the Fox X-Men stuff, if you don't care about the Deadpool movie, skip this set. Me, I really like the Deadpool movies, so I wanted to get this set. $50 on Amazon, a little over $50 actually after tax, so it's pretty expensive, especially with all the issues I have with this set. But overall, it's still going to be worth it if you really want these figures. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figures, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys later.